Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the 9th year anniversary. I saw a Reddit post here on full stone count of the 9th year anniversary, and it made me want to, just go through and talk about the 9th year anniversary. Yep, you can clearly see, there's like every single thing is here, right? The only thing that's not here is because this post was obviously 9 days ago. The STR Vegito and LR Buhan EZAs aren't here, but of course I went ahead and added that. These are the only bits of stones that I saw that weren't already on here. I might have missed some, I'm not perfect, but final stone count of around 1200 is what you should expect, give or take, right? Because global might get, more or less top grossing rewards and that type of deal, or they might have like bugs or something. So, I mean, take that with a little bit of a grain of salt. Obviously a very, nice post, regardless. As for the anniversary itself, the stamina down is obviously, that's good, right? And then we get more boosts on some days, that's great. All right, so, I mean, the first real major thing that happened was LRUI Goku's EZA. I mean, he's a pretty good unit, right? His super attack effects are pretty good, right? He, just raises attack and defense for 1 turn, or he gets 50% buff. He gives a nice little attack buff, which is cool, right? It's not defense, so it's not the end of the world, but I mean, it's better than nothing. He's basically got a 70% chance to dodge for 7 turns and then 50% chance to dodge on subsequent turns. He gets buffed from dodging, and dodging is the first attacker. I mean, he builds up similar to like the blue fusions. He gets extra dodge just like AGOUI Goku. He's just a pretty good unit all around, right? He's pretty much a dodge or die character at this point, right? But I mean, dodge is one of the strongest abilities in the game, so it's a great thing to have that. Pretty goddamn good, I'll give him that. Broly, Chila, and Lemo next. Broly, Chila, and Lemo are very good. They've got really good super attack effects. Boom, I mean, they're really massively buffing themselves. They basically, exist as a 24 key, well, I guess the trio. Whoops, I can't assume. With either attack or defense, or depending on what you get. Or if you get physical orbs, they just make them like a lot stronger, like a good bit stronger actually. They actually do really good damage, right? Like I would say they do nothing like insane, but they do good damage, right? They can triple super pretty easily. You do a guaranteed additional super at 24 key. They got a high chance to dodge built in. They get guaranteed dodge with 7 orbs. I mean, it's everybody kind of knows what this unit's niche is, right? And this physical orb thing is pretty cool. The orb change is good. I mean, they give allies damage reduction, which, I mean, when Dokkan Fist Kid Goku did that, everybody decided to do tricks on his power pole, but I have literally never once seen somebody mention this, which is, I mean, I guess, but I mean, they do it. But Broly, Chila, and Lemo, they're very good, right? Their main weakness is their link set. Link set's a little wonky for their teams. I mean, they have big bad bosses, but I mean, they don't really have too many units that they can activate it with, right? I mean, it's kind of unfortunate for them. And their teams, they're not on a bunch of teams right now. Their best team is probably Power of Wishes, and Power of Wishes is probably not even a top 5 team anymore, right? Super bosses. Really? Super bosses? Get the hell out of here. That's Broly, Chila, and Lemo. They're very good. Very goddamn good unit. We had a new boss rush stage, which is cool. It's just free stones. I think it's like 30, 35 free stones. Too easy. We had new, bosses. I remember this. New bosses in Red Zone. Movie bosses too. These events are pretty fun, right? Why is there a first one? Huh? Okay. Anyways, these guys are fodder. They don't do anything, right? Frieza here is fodder. Frieza here is still kind of fodder. I don't know why he's looking like this, but there's supposed to be an STR, I believe, Frieza, who is a countdown attack and he does like 8 million, which is pretty good. But you're probably not gonna ever get there. I mean, he's reasonably hard. He's not that hard. He's like okay, right? I mean, he's like a decently difficult fight. Beerus here, he's pretty tough. He goes into this form and then he rage modes and then he cancels dodge basically, and then he hits pretty hard, right? There's some cool things. This rainbow orb mechanic change, not rainbow orb, like he just changes all key spheres. This stuff is annoying because he does it after your unit's orb change. I don't think it's normally like that. Don't quote me on it, but I do believe that usually bosses change orbs before you change orbs. I might be wrong though. I mean, yeah, that's all he really does. Right? He's just tough, right? Cancels dodge, nice. Moving on, we have this event. This was a pretty easy event. I think you just he had some domain effects or whatever, and you kind of just beat him up, and he really wasn't that hard. It was pretty free, right? Just some free stones, nice. But it's just EX skill orbs, it's same thing, different day, right? This is free stones. This is the line and Facebook thing. Cool. Stone sales aren't really content, but I mean, if you buy things, that's cool. This is the purple stone. I believe this is the purple EX stone. The redstone was actually pretty cool, but well, I can't really pull up it up. But I mean, it had a bunch of units. They're all awakened. I mean, I'm really glad that they changed them to all be awakening now, which it's pretty cool, right? You just pick a free unit. I mean, pick whoever you want. Coin exchange is pretty cool. Bunch of free rewards. That's always, I mean, it's a pretty anniversary given, but you know, everybody, you know, really enjoys it, which is cool. We have these SSR, free SSR tickets, which is cool. You love to see it. You love to see it. I'm really glad. This is a good change. I mean, it's not anniversary specific, but these Dokkan Awakening things. Oh my god, dude. Having to farm up medals in Dokkan is like a bottom 5 thing anybody looks forward to doing. Next up is Broly. Okay, Broly and Gogeta. I guess we can talk about them and their banners here. Now, we can hate all we want, but we can pretty much, you know, safely say that the Carnival format is here to stay, which, you know, while it is bad for free-to-play players, I think it's probably better for the overall health of the game, which, I mean, most people don't want to hear that, but it is what it is. It do be what it do be. It be like that sometimes, you know, tough titties. Anyways, I mean, it was okay, right? Broly is obviously one of the best units in the game. This Frieza is probably the best banner unit in the game. He's amazing. Zamasu is still pretty good. You guys have fallen off. They're decent, right? They're just decent. Cooler, he's just, I'd give him decent. The gods they're decent as well. These guys, they didn't, you know, Easy A when the banner dropped, but they, after they get their Easy A, they're so broken. They're amazing. Top 10 unit in the game easily. And then the blue fusions are the blue fusions. Literally any fight that's not like doesn't have AoEs, they dominate, right? And then you have Broly here, who's fodder. This is a pretty good banner. Overall, I mean, it's not the worst banner in the world, like worst banner of the 4, but it's far from the best, right? Next, you got Gogeta here. Gogeta's banner. It's, you know, pretty good. Gogeta here, who's amazing. You had Trunks, who's still pretty decent. You suck. You're pretty decent. You're okay. I mean, nah, not really. You kind of suck. I'm not gonna lie. You suck. You're irrelevant. You just got your Easy A. You're pretty good. Very, very, you know, good. Broly, chilling them up, very good. They also, you know, just got their Easy A. Boom. Bardock sucks. You suck. I mean, that's it, right? This banner is easily the worst of the anniversary banners, right? If you don't pull Gogeta, you basically got an L here. Maybe if you really want Carnival Trunks, but Carnival Trunks ain't all that. He's not really pushing the needle on a box, right? Gogeta is very good though. Let's talk about the units themselves next, I guess. Now, Broly is actually a pretty controversial unit right now, because he's in an interesting position right now, right? His leader skill, it's good, right? Well, maybe not good. It's decent, right? Super Bosses is a pretty bad category. Transformation Boost is, you know, pretty good. It's Transformation Boost. Full Power is an okay category. Altogether, it makes for a decent team. Nothing really, like, worth raving about. He has good, decent super attack effects. He stacks attack, he raises defense for 1 turn, and then he raises defense for 4 turns on his 18 key, and then he greatly stacks attack, which is good. He, you know, he gets his intro buff, and then he gets a bit stronger, kind of like Orange Piccolo, and then he wants to transform basically as soon as he can. This, you know, he's got guaranteed guard, which is very good. AGL Gohan's key mechanic, pretty good. He gets key. It makes him very easy. He's probably one of the better self-sufficient units in the game in terms of key. It feels very free to basically get an 18 key super attack with him. In my experience, he can do up to like 4 supers. No, 4 supers in base. He does 5 supers post transforming, right? Then he transforms, and then, you know, he pops his domain expansion, and he gets really powerful, and he buffs his stream class allies, and he can cook, you know. Here, transformation. Here, Broly is like top 2. Like, if this Broly is God, dude. He is God. He does so much damage. His defense is more than good enough. I mean, he is very, very strong, especially if he has his domain up. He's got an extra 26% damage reduction. He's got 52% chance to crit. He can do 5 supers. He's just really, really, really powerful. Yeah, still has got this guaranteed guard. It just makes him really busted, right? He can. I mean, Broly, I've seen routinely do a 30 million, 24 key super attack, and then like an 18 million, then a 20 million, then a 21, then a 22, then a 24. Like, the damage that Broly does is stupid. It is dumb, bro. He's stupid. He does stupid damage. He's very good. He's just kind of in a interesting position, mainly because he doesn't really like protect, the team. He doesn't like have a lot of utility in terms of, covering for his weaker allies, besides just killing the enemy, right? I mean, that's some great support. Killing the enemy is underrated support. I'm not gonna lie, but Broly's very good. He's underrated, I would argue. But I mean, it is what it is, right? Next, we got Gogeta. Pretty good leader skill, right? Movie heroes. It's solid, pretty good team. I'll give it good. It's a good team. He's got really good super attack effects. He stacks defense here. And then he's okay in base, right? He's okay, right? He's got guard for 3 turns. You basically want to just float him off on his first rotation and then transform with him once he comes back. He can do guaranteed additional supers with a rainbow orb, and he's got a 70% chance to do another one. He rainbow orb changes, which is pretty good. It's nice. Super effective against all types for like basically Gogeta units. He's frequently around the 10 to 12, 14 million range in base, right? And then he does his additional supers, which is good. He'll be around he's like 200k, 250k start a turn, which is it's not great, but it's not the worst thing ever. Then he transforms, and then he becomes very good. He heals, which is so good. This healing is so good. By the way, his super attack effects are amazing. Well, his 12 key effect is. This 18 key effect should have got defense, but it is what it is. He's super effective against all types. I personally don't like that. I wish he was just guaranteed critting. I feel like it should have been a Gogeta Blue thing to just do guaranteed crits, right? We see that AGL Gogeta does it. I mean, I feel like, an anniversary Gogeta should be able to do it, but it is what it is. He's got the double LR Gohan key mechanic. He's still got his super attack effects with a rainbow key sphere, but then now he just has a guaranteed additional super. This Gogeta is frequently, he can do 20 million, 25 million. And then he can bounce around, do like 15, 18, that type of range for his additional supers, and he's hitting goddamn hard. He does amazing damage. Definitely not on LR Broly's level, but still on that tier beneath, still very good. He's got a 70% chance to dodge, and then he gets crit chance for every dodge. This Ki Blast super attack effect, just cucking the Ki Blast supers is very good. LR Broly he saved many a time against the Broly AGL Broly movie boss rush. He's very good. Then he got his active skill, and his active skill is one of the best active skills in the game. If the enemy is dodgeable, it's basically, you just Ghost Usher, do a bunch of damage, and he taunts, right? Because he can't be touched. He taunts, and then he dodges everything, right? This active skill, it does it can do up to 20 million. It does really good. It does some really good damage. He's just very powerful. Dominant link set. He's just really, really good. He's amazing. There's nothing really bad to say about this guy, except for maybe his weaker base form. Moving on, you got tickets here. We can talk about the tickets later. We'll talk about that in part 3. Kai rituals, fodder, sales aren't content. This, who cares? Reprints, I don't care. These are okay, right? This was a nice little event. Basically just some stones. Burst mode, pretty much the same thing. I like burst mode, but this, it's basically superheroes and superheroes and super bosses link leveling stage, which is good. Next, we got Easy Blue Kaioken Evolution Vegeta, Blue Kaioken Goku, and Evolution Blue Vegeta, and they are, oh boy. Now I won't lie, I was actually shocked at how good these guys were. They are amazing, right? First of all, their super attack effects have always been really good. I think they're the same. No, they're not, right? Oh, actually, yeah, they buffed them. That's crazy. right? I mean, it's just, that just goes to show you how well they did this unit. Some of the best super attack effects in the game, hands down. So good. I mean, then, you know, they're supers, they're at their peak at turn 1, and they don't fall off. That's basically it. They doing guaranteed crits at 24 key, which is very good. They're frequently around the 18 to 20 to 22 million range, doing guaranteed crits, and they can potentially quintuple super, which, I mean, the damage they do on a turn like that, combined with how good their defense is, I mean, I'm shocked at how good they are. Like, they're so good, so unbelievable, right? And I mean, they just do everything, right? Like, I mean, they do everything you want in a good unit, right? Obviously, I mean, they don't like support or anything, but they're self-sufficient with key. They have good defense. They have a great active skill. It kind of cuts their defense, but I mean, then they get 70% damage reduction when you're able to pop this, right? So, I mean, if you get some rainbow orbs, I mean, you can get them up to like, I mean, I've had them at 91% damage reduction. I mean, even with 100k defense, they're not going to be taking much damage from any boss in the game, right? They're just very, very good. They're just a very good unit. Again, it's shocking at how good they are. They're just amazing. They simply don't have flaws. They're just amazing. They create their own key spheres. They're just 10 out of 10 easy A. 10 out of 10. I mean, they're a dynamo. They're just Godzilla, King Kong, King Ghidorah type godliness. A progenitor god, dude. They're progenitor gods, dude. It's just the Dokkan gods. Whoever blessed us with this easy A, just thank you. Thank you. Moving on, we have a superhero little, what is this? EX skill up event. This is cool. Next we got the this event. Okay. Now I'm actually quite pleased with how, you know, difficult these fights were, at least on release. They were all pretty tough. Broly here, his first form is not really that big of a deal. This form was a pretty decently big deal because he can double super and his attack cooldown is so low. He's very good. Broly here, just, you know, he just hits hard, right? He's just blah blah damage, and then he lowers your defense, which is good. Also, this Broly buffs himself, so these normals are, you know, they're around like the 600k range, which, I mean, obviously now is like, well, who cares? But I mean, we didn't have Beast Gohan back then, man. We didn't have Beast Gohan. And then Broly, Chien, and Limo, they canceled dodge, and then they hit pretty hard. Blue Gogeta got oh man, Blue Gogeta, dude. Bro, it was bad for Blue Gogeta. He had supered, and he still got blasted. I mean, it's just what it is, what it is, right? Gogeta here, he's pretty tough too. I didn't think he was as hard as Broly, but he did also lower defense by a lot. He hits a little bit harder. He's got, from what I saw, more HP than the Broly stage. And then this Gogeta can also double super and buff himself. And then these two were a little bit more of a threat to me than this Broly was here. I mean, they're just a little bit harder, but it's still Broly, dude. Canceling dodge and the super attack lower is enough to just like absolutely cut you. AGL Gohan got absolutely his back blown out by this brother right here. This brother destroyed AGL LR Gohan with his guard, man. It just doesn't matter. Next up, we got the Gammas. The Gammas are they're decently tough. They can hit really hard in this phase. And then they do their super omega big giant attack here. But it doesn't really matter because you're never going to get to it. You're basically guaranteed to kill them before they get this nuke off. I mean, they're pretty hard, right? They're reasonably tough. They can, you know, do some good numbers on the super attacks, but honestly, predetermined actions in this game is garbage. I hate that stuff. I don't think it's good for the game, personally. But I mean, I guess when you get a 5.5 million super attack, I mean, it is what it is, right? And then this Gamma is not really a threat. He lowers your stats a little bit, but that's about it. I would say this one's not that bad. Next we got Gohan. This Gohan fight is pretty tough, right? So first you got this guy, fodder. This guy is kind of fodder too. He seals, and they stun, but it doesn't really matter. This orange Piccolo hits pretty hard. He does a 2 million super attack, which is relevant. He also locks. Bro, when I was doing the tournament video, he locked Kaba in slot 1 and proceeded to pin him against the kitchen counter and rail him out of there, dude. He got annihilated. He's got a lot of HP too. He's buffed himself on super attack. He's pretty tough. Next you got Beast Gohan, who hits very, very hard. One of the harder hitting fights in the game. He has a ton of HP. This is a lot. This is how much AGL Broly has, right? 120 million, I think. If I'm not mistaken. Goddamn, a lot of HP. He might have 100 million. I'm not 100% sure, but a lot of HP is the point. He also can lower defense on this, which is interesting. But unfortunately, his attacks are predetermined, which is garbage. So, boo. It is what it is, though. I'm not exactly. And yeah, that's Beast Gohan. Yeah, I mean, Beast Gohan stage again, or I guess Gohan and Piccolo or whatever. It's a tough stage. It's a tough stage for sure. Moving on, you got more of these. That's cool. Beast Gohan. I guess this is where we talk about Beast Gohan, huh? To put it quite simply, this is the best banner in the history of this game. You should be summoning. I mean, you should be summoning. You should be saving for this banner with every single stone you have right now. I mean, this banner is so unbelievably good. I would be shocked if there's a better banner between now and the global anniversary. I mean, you got Beast Gohan, who's just far and away the best unit in the game. He's just so. He's like 3 tiers above everybody else. Honestly, he's just so good. These guys suck. You guys have fallen off, but you're okay. I give you they're a decent unit. The GG duo is still pretty. They're pretty good, I guess. I guess I'll give, these two are both good, right? They're good units. You suck. You're decent. The Super Saiyan 4s, they can do some things if things break their way and they get their stacks and everything. UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta, these are, I mean, they didn't have their easy A when Beast Gohan came out, but when they did, they're easily 2 and 3, dude. They're so UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta are busted beyond belief. These are easily the best units in the game. They're easily the second and third best units in the game. Just a very dominant presence, right? I'm actually very surprised at how good they are, right? The blue fusions last year were great. I feel like the blue fusions compared to UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta aren't even like half as good, right? Like on release, like nah, dude. The blue fusions were great, but UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta are they are them, dude. He's him and he is him. It's unbelievable. And then you have Piccolo, who's, he's okay. Piccolo's still pretty decent. And then Gohan and Goten, they're also pretty decent. I mean, this is just, there's not really a single L on this banner except for you, right? You suck. Actually, no, the banner unit sucks too. I mean, these units are older, so I mean, I guess, if you have these units rainbowed, I mean, that's a different thing. But I mean, this banner is just unbelievably good, right? Is my point. I mean, it's just a good banner. I don't know which one to say. Beast Gohan, And then you have the Gammas banner. This is probably the best Carnival banner in the history of this game. The Gammas are amazing. Future Gohan is amazing. Bulma is still amazing. Kai Goku is still pretty good. Not Kai Goku. Is it? Yeah, it is Kai Goku. Kai Goku is still pretty good. You're still pretty decent. You're decent. You're pretty good. You suck. You suck. You suck. But I mean, these are just fodder filler units. But I mean, this banner is very good. Far and away better than Gogeta's. And honestly, you could, potentially throw it out there that this banner is better than Broly's, right? I mean, but I mean, I guess, their banners are both very good, right? But Beast, oh boy, this banner is unbelievable. Here, let's talk about Beast and the Gammas next. First up is Beast Gohan, and the Beast Gohan is just far and away the best unit in the game. Again, he has the best leader skill, far and away. He's just Superheroes is a broken team. They have so much depth. Like every single. I mean, we can just go through it, dude. Like, here, let's whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Boom, tier list right here. I mean, we can just go through it, right? U2, these easy as, I mean, I'm not having ranked them yet, but I'm gonna rank them next time I update this. But these two, unfortunately, aren't on their team. But I mean, if we go through it, obviously Beast Gohan's on his own team. You're on the 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 team. Bulma's not on the team. I don't quite remember if the GT Duo. I don't think the GT Duo are on them. But I mean, yeah. Vegeta's on the team. The Blue Fusions are on the team. God Goku's on the team. You are. Are you on the team? No, they're not on the team. I mean, UI Goku's on the team, right? I mean, you just go through it, dude. Most of the better units in the game. I mean, these are most of the pinnacle right here. These are just the best units in the game, right? I mean, we can just agree on that. And I mean, how many of them were on the team? Like, it's just unbelievable how many good units are on this goddamn category. They're simply just unbelievable. This leader skill is unbelievable. It is so good. He's got great super attack effects. Right? I mean, he's just good. You know, defense for 4 turns, and then he gets more defense here. And then, you know, you get to his, I guess we can, you know, unit super attack effect. This is good, right? It doesn't really matter though, because I mean, if he disables an action for himself, he's not taking damage. So it legitimately does not matter. There's not a single unit in the game that can like really damage this guy post super. So I mean, I would argue that it doesn't really matter, but you know, it is what it is. And you know, I mean, basically, I'm not gonna really read all this. Basically, he's got 80% chance to, I mean, 80% damage reduction. Guaranteed crits, triple super, well, and then he's got a guaranteed additional super, right? I mean, that's basically it. He gives, you know, he can give allies key to that type of deal. I mean, he got, oh, also, my bad, guaranteed guard. Oh my god, oh, guard, I am the, just, guard, oh, guard. And then he's got this stupid, broken, just disgusting godsend of a broken active skill. I mean, the condition is literally just get hit once. I mean, the easiest condition in the game besides maybe, besides Angel Golden Frieza and Int's Kibito Kai, like, other than that, I mean, and then you just get, for that, you get, you know, 158% defense, a taunt, and then full key, and then guaranteed crits. I mean, okay. Dominant link set. Best team in the game, right? Good categories. I mean, you just go through it. There's not a single flaw in this character's kit. No weaknesses. There's simply just no weaknesses. He's three times better than every other unit in the game. I don't know. Next up, we got the Gammas. The Gammas are very good. They also loot superheroes, but you're never gonna run them over Beast Gohan. So, I mean, whatever. I mean, but you know, they still do lead it, right? Which does matter. You know, against, you know, maybe artificial life forms or something. Okay, right? They got really good super attack effects, right? They, you know, I mean, they killed it with the super attack effects in this celebration. Mwah, perfect. I mean, then they get 250%. Basically, they support a godsend of, like, this is a lot of support. 3 key and 50% attack and defense to superheroes? Are you kidding me? Hello? Who thought that was a good idea? I mean, okay. Whatever, man. They're basically a miniature, well, not a miniature. They're kind of a side grade to Blue Kaioken Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta. They do around as much damage. They're relative to them. They, you know, they do about that much damage. They can get damage reduction post doing 3 attacks, which is good because they do 3 attacks very frequently because they get, you know, there are guaranteed additional supers with 8 key spheres and chances with the AGL or STR. One weakness that this character has is that they don't create type key spheres for themselves in base. They do it in their standby and in Gamma 1, but not in, you know, this regular form here. Next you got the standby mode, which very easy condition. 70% or less HP or just attack 3 times. too easy. They've got a really good link set for their niche. They got a lot of categories. The most important one, artificial life forms, baby. Oof, baby. Just very good. Next, I mean, we got their standby. Yeah, they got a lot. There's a long kit. Yeah, their standby. They still got really good super attack effects. They right here, I mean, this is probably, you know, just one of the better super attack effects in the game, giving allies 50% defense and buffing themselves by 50%. Very, very good. They basically get 300% attack and defense start of turn with 50% damage reduction. Very good. And they get 50% more attack and defense when they attack. So, I mean, their defense post super is very good. And they can kind of live pre-super because of their damage reduction. They still have this additional super attack effects type thing with their orbs, with int key spheres and AGL and STR. And I might be having a Mandela effect because I swear I remember them being able to orb change, but okay, I guess they can't. I mean, still though, they're pretty good. They have this where they just, you know, build up to Armageddon, right? And they launch this and it does like 30 million damage. And it's very hard. Only problem with it is that it doesn't do guaranteed crits. I feel like it should do guaranteed crits, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, obviously it did so much damage to Cell Max. I mean, not really. I mean, it made him lose an arm, but it is what it is. Next, I mean, then they stand by. After that, they go into Gamma 1, who is good. He basically gets up to 30% damage reduction, plus the damage reduction that he gets from right here, which is like potentially 80% damage reduction, which is very good. He's pretty tanky. And now he creates his own orbs. He changes AGL to int key spheres, and he, you know, he builds that up. Still supports. He's just a very good unit, right? The Gammas are pretty good. They're just a really good unit. They're very, very well designed. They're really solid. I love them. Moving on, you know, these are not cool, I guess. We got a new state. I mean, we got a new story event, which is cool. Frieza's fodder, but free stones from the story event, I guess, is cool. Beerus got an EZA. He's okay. I mean, he's okay. I'll give him that. I mean, next we got, okay, so big time fights right here. So first up, we have the boss rush, movie boss rush, which was cool. Definitely a very cool, interesting design. I personally would have preferred if they had just made it like regular boss rush and they had just lined up all these fights individually. I feel like it would have been more fun that way, but that's just my own opinion, right? I mean, maybe people like this long form type of content. I mean, that's fair. But I just wish we didn't just get to only fight their final forms. I kind of wanted to fight all their forms, cause especially with like Broly. What made Broly so hard was that he had his STR phase, right? Like that would have been more fun in my opinion. And if they wanted to do this long form of content, they could have at least, you know, just made all their fights, all their phases in the fight. But then at that point, this might have been like a 30 or something, like a 30 turn fight. So I mean, this fight is already like a 12, 15 turn fight. I mean, if you add those, you know, it would have been a pretty goddamn long fight. I'll give it that. But I mean, a potential workaround. I mean, you just simply don't throw some of these easier fights in there, right? Like, who cares about Turles' henchmen? Who cares about Slug's henchmen? Who cares about Cooler's henchmen? Who cares about 13's first couple forms? Bojack's first couple forms really don't matter either. Neither does Geno. It's literally only Broly's that I actually care about now that I really think about it. Yeah. So I mean, just put Broly's whole fight in there is my only change. Well, actually, it's not my only change. But I mean, let's just talk about this. Enough yapping. Turles is fodder. Slug is fodder. Cooler is fodder. You know, these predetermined attacks fodder. 13. What could have been potentially interesting if they gave him the dodge canceling. That is my biggest gripe with this event. Because they gave all the other bosses their abilities. They gave Bojack his guaranteed lock, guaranteed seal still. But they decided to take away from 13 and Broly the thing that made them super tough. The ability that could cancel dodge. I mean, 13 didn't really matter, but Broly definitely mattered, right? I really dislike that type of change, but whatever. So, I mean, that unfortunately makes 13 fodder. Bojack here, he's got a decent amount of HP. He doesn't hit very hard though, but he does have this guaranteed lock and seal. So, I mean, You know, if you have already used your items, or you're out of items, or you didn't bring a sensu bean, yeah, and he catches the wrong unit, that's tough, man. That's rough, buddy. That's rough, buddy. Next up, we got Janemba. Janemba's not really all that big of a problem. He can change orbs. He can debuff you on his transformed super attack. He hits okayly hard. Nothing really. Honestly, most of these phases are kind of fodder. Bojack can potentially get you caught though. Then you have Broly. Broly's pretty tough. He's got 1 million normals. He's got 150 million HP. Oh, okay, so I was wrong earlier about 120 million. I was wrong. Okay. 3 million damage super attack right there, and he's got a 20% chance to super attack. That's a very high amount. And he can double super, so I mean 3 million supers. He will very often super slot 1 right away, and then super slot 2 or slot 3. I mean, but unfortunately he doesn't cancel dodge, so I mean there's 80% of the difficulty goes away, just goes away immediately. That's really unfortunate in my opinion. It's one of the worst design changes about the anniversary. One of the worst changes, or one of the worst things in general about the anniversary, in my opinion. Besides the free-to-play units, but we'll get there later, huh? But yeah, that's Broly, and the movie Boss Rush. Next up is Cell Max, and honestly, I'm kind of disappointed in Cell Max too. He's decently tough, right? I mean, he can do like 2.5, pretty hard super attacks. He, can buff himself a lot, especially when he gets lower on HP. The kind of mechanic is that he gets stronger as the HP lowers. Well, he doesn't technically get stronger, but he gets these buffs that make him pseudo stronger, right? He's very tanky. I mean, you sit here and fight this guy for a long time because he's got 300 million HP. He is very tanky. He does 1 million normals, which is tough, right? 2.5 million super attack there, and then 2 million here, but he buffs it by 50%. So he's basically doing 1.5 million normals and then a 2.5 million super attack. And then he lowers your defense, which is, a big deal. And then he buffs himself by 80% here, which is, that is rough. And then he, debuffs you 30% again. But yeah, I mean, he's tough, right? He's hard, but he can be sealed, deeper into the fight, which can, potentially mitigate that. And then he can be stunned 6 turns in the fight. Buhan, like a unit like Buhan kind of like is tailor-made for this fight, which is good. I like the fact that Buhan's seal mechanic has something good. But yeah, you can, he's strong. It's interesting because he starts out like quote unquote weak, and he's immune to everything, but then he gets stronger, but then he becomes less immune, which I actually like that design. But I don't think he's the toughest fight ever, right? But he's a good difficulty. He's a good addition to the game. Overall, I'd say I'm much happier with Cell Max over Broly because they didn't give him the ability to cancel dodge. But yeah, these are the fights. They're pretty good. Fun missions, kind of. Artificial life. Moving on, we have. This is just a fun little once daily event, which is cool. This was, I mean, you basically got, what was it, like some type of water, and then you traded it in for items, which is pretty cool. Next we got, oh boy, the big boys. Probably the biggest, most important thing of the anniversary. That might be controversial. Now, straight up, they nailed every single thing about these characters. They are so goddamn unbelievable. It's insane, dude. Leader skills don't really matter. Super attack effects, pretty good. UI Goku, we'll talk about him first, obviously. He buffs his attack, gets 50% chance to crit, and then he can give allies 7% crit chance, which is cool. And then on his 18 key, 100% attack buff, pretty good. No defense, which is unfortunate. Why doesn't he get defense? Oh my god, can you imagine if he got defense? Oh, anyways, same, guaranteed crits. Well, not guaranteed, you know what I mean. 77% chance to dodge, he does guaranteed dodge turn 1. He basically, I mean, we all know what UI Goku kind of does, right? he gets, a lot of dodge chance. He can hit for like, 18 to 20 million, 16 million in that type of range. Turn 1, if he has a 77% HP buff, which is a pseudo weakness that they kind of gave him, making this guy basically need to be at 24 key and have this ability right here up for him to hit really hard. But I mean, other than that, he's perfect, right? He builds up his defense with dodges. He's just very good. And then he can get extra dodge chance every time he dodges, which that's okay, right? It's nothing a deal. It doesn't stack, so it doesn't really matter all that much. Then you have his revive. His revive is really good, right? Just enter the 8. If you don't have this up, you enter the turn with under 77% HP, you're cooking, you're golden. And I mean, if it's his revive, he gets guaranteed dodge the next turn, and if it's not, then he gets 77% defense, which is good. Very good. And then good link set, good teams, good active skill, good damage on it. I mean, it's just too easy, baby, too easy. They also gave him guaranteed crits on his active skill, which is nice. That's a good change. Then we got LR Evolution Blue Vegeta here, who is, I would argue, better than UI Goku, right? He first of all, he gets defense on his super attack effects. That's already just like 50 times better. Like, okay, he's amazing. He's literally the best ever, okay? And then other than that, he has basically the same super attack effects. And then he gets guard, turn 1. Oh my god, guard. Basically, they made every single thing that this unit had wrong with him, they just fixed, right? They gave him guard turn 1, right? Beautiful. They made his damage reduction, instead of being 10% start of turn or whatever, they just gave him 50% start of turn, all right? And the fact that it still works like this, where he gets his damage reduction after the hit. So his first hit, instead of having 60% damage reduction, it's going to have 50, and then 60, and then 70, then 80, right? So basically you need 4 hits to have his 80% damage reduction activated. But that's, they kind of, pseudo put a band-aid on that because they gave him 50% damage reduction just right away, which is very good. Then he builds up attack and defense. That is a very big deal, right? He builds up attack and defense. And then he does, he still has a 77% chance of launching an additional super attack. And then, he also gets 77% attack and guaranteed crits at 24 key, or when they launch the active skill, which is very good. And then Evolution Blue Vegeta's revive, who is a little bit better of a restriction, I'd argue, over UI Goku's. They're both got really good restrictions, but 5 hits, I mean, that basically, like, sometimes, potentially you can get, UI Goku to not enter the turn with 77% HP and then hit one of his enemy, or he gets tagged, or one of his other allies gets tagged, and then you're just dead. With Evolution Blue Vegeta, I find getting hit 5 times against the harder fights in the game, some of the harder fights, I find this is at, like, by turn 5, which is not bad, right? I would argue you're not really too much in danger of dying before turn 5, so I really like that. I personally have not struggled getting this revive condition up. And then once he revives, with 77% HP. He gets guaranteed guard if it's his revive for the next turn. And then 77% attack and defense and 7 key, which is just very good. His active skill is also better than UI Goku's. It does pretty much the same damage, and it's an AoE, right? And this AoE does build up this mechanic right here, which is good. Very nice. He's got a good link set. The only problem is he has no Super Saiyan, which is just you can't really fix that, right? But it's just, this is the worst design shaft of this character. It's one of the worst design shafts in this game's, well, maybe not in this game's history, but it's like for an anniversary unit, definitely, in my opinion. It's very bad. Very bad. He's got a lot of teams, and other than that, he's just great. In what I've seen, his defense is it's a little bit lower than UI Goku's, right? But he's got 50% damage reduction, so you could argue, that kind of balances it out. But I mean, UI Goku also got 70% chance to dodge, so I mean, keep that in mind. And then I find Evolution Blue Vegeta to be hitting harder than UI Goku pretty often, pretty much all the time, right? I've seen this guy at like 20 million pretty easily, and UI Goku, I just really don't see him get that high without support. Evolution Blue Vegeta does, so just keep that in mind. But I mean, other than that, I mean, they basically nailed these characters. They're just so good. Everything about them is flawless. I actually kind of skipped over these guys, but let me take the liberty to just complain about how Beerus, who's okay, and Frieza, who's just absolute garbage. Like, this bucko is fodder. He's legit trash. I don't know what they were thinking. What were they thinking? I mean, he's just really horrifically bad. Like, there's literally nothing good about him. His defense is terrible. His attack stats are bad. He sucks. He is trash. I'm just gonna X him out right now. Beerus, he's alright, right? His damage reduction, I mean, he can tank, kind of. He's not gonna tank any of these big time fights, but I mean, against Red Zone Zamasu, he was alright. But he unfortunately does lose his damage reduction, similar to AGL Golden Frieza, where it turns, at least in my experience, from me playing with him, it seems that he loses it with each turn, like AGL Golden Frieza. But I mean, other than that, he can do some okay damage in his his transform stage, which is cool. But I mean, he does not move the needle, right? It's one of the unfortunate blemishes on these last couple Dokkan anniversaries, which is kind of why I really like, I think really fondly of the 6th year anniversary. It's one of my more favorite anniversaries in my opinion. That anniversary had amazing free-to-play units, and it was the last anniversary that had really good free-to-play units, right? Is it the only anniversary that's ever had like really good free-to-play units? I'd probably say so. I don't quite remember what came out with the 4th year anniversary. Was that Giru? I mean, I don't think Giru was anywhere near as good as those guys. Like LR Roshi was so good. I mean, LR Roshi to this day is still pretty decent. I mean, he's far better than this guy is, right? When he released. Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, they're trash. They were trash day one. And then the Babidi and Majin Vegeta, like, okay, like, stop. Just, yeah. I mean, it just is what it is. Moving on, that's kind of it? Ish, kind of? Not entirely? Oh, wait, no. So we got missions here, some, Zenny campaigns, that's cool. Tickets. We'll talk about the tickets last, probably. Let's talk, these are more missions, that's cool. Another burst mode is fine. These stages, I'm gonna just talk about the anniversary battle. Anniversary battle is good. Gave Beast, Gohan, and Broly their equips, which is really nice. I really like that change. Giving them equips, giving all the anniversary units equips was a great addition, in my opinion. It's just really nice to basically guarantee all players will have really good equips, because, bro, equip farming in this game is terrible. I mean, they've made it a lot better, but it just, in my opinion, just, But next we got the Blue Zone, or whatever people are calling this, Supreme Battle Spectacle. We can talk about it. We'll talk about some of these stages, but I'm not going to talk about all of them. This fight is basically it's a showcase fight, dude. That's it. Vegeta, nothing really. You're okay. I mean, you're kind of, nothing really. Trunks is special. Evolution Blue Vegeta is not. UI Goku is not. Like, these fights, they're not really that hard. Plus, the Universe 6 girls, like, kind of neg these fights. They just negative difficulty to them. Like, Universe Survival Saga Saiyans against Universe 6, it's just not going to go well. Especially because they don't cancel dodge. Then we got Evolution Blue, not Evolution Blue Vegeta. Then we got Blue Gogeta, and Beast Gohan. Now Trunks here, he's pretty tough, right? When he came out, he was probably the hardest fight in the game. AGL Trunks is fodder. This Trunks is, first of all, I mean, he double supers, low cooldown, but he does guaranteed locking, and he seals when he supers, right? And he can super twice, so it's very frequent that he supers, right away. But his super attack chance isn't super high, so it's not like the end of the world. But Trunks here, Look at his defense, bro. Dude, he is so tanky. And if you don't have units that can like do damage, you are going to be here for a long time. And I mean a long time. I mean, he's tough. Like, that's just, he's just tough. It is what it is. Got decent HP. And then you got Trunks here, who basically 60% super chance. It feels like 100%, dude. He almost always super you. I don't think there's ever been a single time where I haven't gotten super before my slot 1 unit has gotten the ability to attack, right? And then he does a guaranteed stun, and then his normals do 1.5 million, right? There aren't many units that are going to be tanking those normals, right? I've had many a run just in straight up from this guy, right? I mean, Vegito, like AGL Vegito, right? They'd dodge the super attack. I very vehemently remember this. They'd dodge the super, right? And then they'd be taking like 400k off his normals. So, I mean, with stacks, I mean, he's just tough, right? He's very tough. That's just Trunks. He's pretty hard. But moving on, next up we got Gogeta. In my opinion, this is the hardest fight in the game. These guys aren't really that big of a problem. They seal and they lower defense. I mean, lower attack, but who cares? These guys, they're basically the same. They can do some decent damage. They seal as well. They buff themselves, but you know, nothing really that extravagant. Gogeta here, again, he's nothing really that extreme either. You know, he can buff himself. You know, it's just same kind of different thing, right? But Gogeta here, he double supers. You know, he hits decently hard, 2 million super attack. Well, that's not decently hard. That's pretty hard. Yeah, I'd say 2 million, 2.3, 2.4, 2.2, 2 million-ish. You know, 2 million is when you start doing good damage. You know, that's like you're hitting hard. You're hitting hard, right? I mean, HP is nothing really that big, but he double supers, right? And then he buffs himself, and then his normals hit like 1 million. So, I mean, just keep that in mind. And then you got Gogeta, who's just dumb, dude. This unit is stupid. This boss is stupid. He's got 70 million HP, which is a lot. He's got 900,000 attack, which is a lot. But that in conjunction with his super attack effect, which 100% buffs him. This thing does like 3 million damage. I mean, pretty much guaranteed, right? I'm not exactly sure how these super attack effects buff these super attacks, if they do or not. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, from what I've seen, people have said that he hits for 3.5 million. So interesting, I guess. But I mean, that's not even the big deal, right? He does AoEs, dude. He does 2 AoEs. It's not always 2 AoEs, like, you know, like Omega or something. But I mean, it's pretty frequent that he can do 2 AoEs, damn it. I mean, these AoEs are just hitting straight up for like 1.5 million after he supers. So like, I mean, 1.5 million AoEs. He usually does 1 right away. It's not like always, as in like, you know, Fusion Zamasu, but like frequently he will launch an AoE right away, and then he'll probably do the other one, you know, probably in slot 3. Which, I mean, in slot 3, admittedly, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but I mean, you know, he's just very annoying and very hard and very dumb, dude. You get through all this just to, you know, die, you know, death is all that awaits you. Next up is Beast Gohan, and he's decently tough. Well, that's not true. He's pretty tough. This is fodder. Who cares? This is okay. He nullifies supers, which is okay. And then this guy, he hits really hard. I mean, that's basically it. He buffs himself, 2.4 million super attack, 700k normal, so he'll be hitting, you know, around 1 million-ish post super. But I mean, the thing that makes him dumb is his Locke's character switching. That is annoying as hell. Also, this reduced damage is kind of annoying. It definitely, you know, when I took him down, it definitely, he stuck around longer than he should have because he did that. But yeah, I mean, he is tough, right? This switching makes him, you know, really annoying, right? He can become in contention, you know, probably in the top 3, top 5 hardest fights in the game, maybe 2. Me personally, I'd probably have Gogeta and then Beast Gohan as the 2 hardest, and then Trunks. Yeah, I like that. And then you can throw like Broly and Cell Max and all those other fights that have come out throughout the ranks. But next up, I guess we can talk about the tickets. Yeah, let's talk about the tickets. The tickets, man, were really good this year, right? They obviously, changed it from the, you pull on the, just a random LR banner and you can get a bunch of LRs, to this format, which I believe is way better. If you're complaining, it's kind of terrible. Like, I don't know, man. Who doesn't want a chance to get Beast Gohan, right? Like, goddamn, I couldn't find it. Who doesn't want a chance to get Beast Gohan? Who is far and away the best unit in the game? I mean, you just, But, the change is great, right? You basically get 50 free pulls to get, one of these great units, and then you get a bunch of guaranteed SSRs at the end, which is fine, I guess. Chances are you're going to get a really good unit. I had used mine on, I think, I used that on the Gamma's banner. I got a lot of good units. Right? I got 2 Future Gohans, I got a Kai Goku, I got 2 Fusions of Masu's, and I think I got 2 Rosés, which is insane. Well, that's a lot of featured units. And just to be able to have the chance to get units like that is really, really good. It's just a great thing. But yeah, is that it? Looks like that's it. Besides the EX part, huh? Okay. Here, let's talk about the EX part next. So yeah, last up, we got this, which, let me translate it, god damn it. Boom. So, you get 30 stones, a bunch of free missions, a really cool background wallpaper. That's the word. Wallpaper, it's really cool. And then you got these guys. And then Super Easy A, which this Super Easy A is, I personally think this is coming soon, like sooner rather than you think. I think it's probably going to be out within, we'll probably find our first Super Extreme Z Awakening character by Saiyan Day. Because if you remember, 3 years ago, during the 6th year anniversary, the same name update was unleashed. And when was the same name update put into effect? I believe it was right around Saiyan Day. So, just keep that in mind. But then, let's just talk about these guys. They're very good. Gohan, Vegeta. So, these guys, they're okay in base, right? Like, they're okay, right? They stack, but they're really just... they can get kind of slapped up. They're not super amazing defensively, but they stack, so it kind of mitigates it. They can quadruple super on their first turn, which is nice. Triple super on subsequent turns, which is cool. And then they got this, and then a really good link set, which is kind of their thing. Unfortunately, their teams, where I usually just say, oh man, teams are just so good. Their teams are really not that in a great of a position right now, right? They have good categories, but these aren't really any good teams, I'd argue, right? Joined forces, there's basically no leader. Maybe you guys, but I don't know if I would really run them as a leader. Like Kamehameha is terrible right now. Pure Saiyans, it's not led by Bardock. No, it's led by Turles. Oh yeah, and God Goku, but... I guess that's a team, right? Patara's irrelevant, Buu Saga is irrelevant, Battle of Wits is irrelevant. Well, not irrelevant, because Orange Piccolo leads it, but I guess I can give him some teams, right? So, that's better, that's fine, right? 2 teams is fine. But then they transform into Vegeta, and then they just become really good, right? So his super attack effects are very good. He seals, which I actually did not know until I got it in line. He fully recovers HP now, which is great. He gets guard for 3 turns, which is amazing. And then he gets a lot of attack and defense, 250%, and then 50% chance to crit. And then he gets crit chance per hit, and then he basically can just get guaranteed crits at, eventually, right? He's very, very powerful. He gets 30% damage reduction, and then a 60% damage reduction against normals, and then he's got this, which is just broken, and it just shoots this guy into the oblivion and makes him relevant for so long, man. He's gonna be relevant for a while with that type of mechanic, right? STR Vegito straight up sucked when Red Zone first came out 2 years ago. and he was still used because of how broken the scatter ability is, right? It's just really good link set, you know. And he's good. He's really good, you know. And then there's Tanks Buhan, very good unit as well. Stacks, basically good super attack effects. Stacks right here, greatly stacked. What? Greatly stacked, nice. Unfortunately, it's not on, you know, greatly stacking on 12 key or both, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. 20% HP regen, which is really good. That's really good because it basically guarantees that you'll be able to get this on turn 4, right? Because you'd have to be under 30% HP. And if you're under 30% HP, you're probably just dead. So you wouldn't have lived anyway, right? But he's got a 30% chance to dodge right here. He's got a 70% chance to guard, which is good. Chances to guard aren't like kind of about, but you know, it's better to have it than to not, so I guess it is what it is. He does guaranteed additional supers, and then he guaranteed guards for the first turn, so you could, you know, float this guy off if, you know, he's on turn 3 and basically guarantee that you can get Buhan out. And then he gets this up to a 50% chance to dodge when you're under when you receive an attack under 80% HP, which, I mean, it's not, that's bad, that's good, right? That's good. And then he gets a KO survival, which is not bad. You know, dude, I feel like there should be a unit that just gets this for the turn, right? Like, you just can't die. Like, I like that, right? This unit cannot get you killed, right? Like, your teammates could potentially get you killed, but like, if this unit, like, think about that design. I'm getting kind of off topic, but like a unit that just the hit that brings them to 1% 1 HP, every hit they get hit after that just regens like 3% HP or something, right? That'd be really cool. But you know, maybe like LR Kid Boo. But then, you know, yeah, he's good. He's good, right? Good key links, well, not key links, good links in general. Teams are kind of right now. It's just in a weird, interesting spot. I won't lie. It's just a very, very interesting spot in terms of teams. But you know, he can kind of cook. You know, transformation boost he'll be okay on. Artificial life forms he'll be good on. And these teams, I'm just looking at. I can't really see any real teams besides Broly's team. Unless I'm just misremembering. Well, artificial life forms, the gamers lead that, right? Yeah. But I mean, Gamma 1's he's an okay leader, I guess. You know, it's not nothing crazy. But then, you know, it's enough yapping, right? We got Buhan, and Buhan, he comes to play, oh baby. He lays the sledgehammer down. He sure does. His super attack effects are very good. He can seal, guaranteed seal, and then he gets a 10-turn seal. Oh no, 5-turn seal. Oh, I'm misremembering. My bad. 5-turn seal, which basically puts, you know, fights like Cell Max on lock once you get that out. He can, you know, he launches multiple additional super attacks for the first couple turns. He's got guard. He's got 50% chance to dodge. He's just a very good unit, right? It's just what makes God Goku so good. He's just a better God Goku, right? Very, very well designed, right? He recovers a lot of HP. He's just good. He's just really good. Enough said. You know, these two are easily top 10 units in the game. I'd argue, right? You know, you could argue them even higher, you know, top 5 if you want, you know? I'd say Vegeta probably. I would probably lean against Buhan being top 5, but, you know, it is what it is. And that is, if I am not mistaken, that's everything we've had so far, right? I guess I can do some wrap-up thoughts. I thought the 90th anniversary was amazing. I thought it was far and away the best celebration. I think what made it so super, super special are obviously UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta's EZAs are probably the best thing about this EZA, but also the sheer amount of content is insane. I don't think there's ever been an anniversary with as much content, in my opinion at least. So many different types of fights, dude. So many events, there's so many things to do in this. Like, if you say that you have all the content done in this EZA, and it's like 2 days into the anniversary, like 2 days into part 3, like you're either a no life or I don't know, man. It's just, it feels like there's just so much to do in this game, right? Well, in the anniversary, it was a great celebration. Overall, some cons I'd argue are, the free-to-play units being terrible. Well, not terrible, but well, you're fodder, but you're okay. And then I'd also say that, like, kind of, it's not as bad as the 7th anniversary was in terms of power creep, but I do feel like there's definitely a little bit you can definitely feel like a power echelon shift in the meta because of this anniversary, right? Beast Gohan and types of units like that. But that's gonna be it for me. Let me know what you guys think, how you enjoyed, if you played JP, if you enjoyed the 9th year anniversary, and if you play global, if you're excited, what you're most excited for. But that's gonna do it for me. Thanks for stopping by.